I got Elijah. We're going to talk about a deal that Elijah and I were working on, and I'm going to have Elijah kind of set the stage for this as I begin to share. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hello, I am Elijah.
Before we start that, Elijah, tell them where you're from. If anybody doesn't know where you're from and how old you are.
All right.
And what deal number this will be.
And maybe just for shits and grins, your age.
All right. My name is Elijah. I am from Northern Colorado. We're based here in Broomfield. I'm 18 years old. I turned 18 in February.
And tell us the great news that just happened earlier this month.
I got engaged in February, and we're planning on getting married later this year.
Right on, man.
Yeah, serious Paydays.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff going on.
Did you realize how the 3 Paydays work yet?
Yes, yeah, she does.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. She wants to help me out at some point with the business, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, but this is deal number 2 for me. Yeah, so I guess I'll just start with the motivation of the seller. Is that good, Greg? Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Yep.
All right, cool. So yeah, the seller's name is Lance. He lives, this property is out in the middle of nowhere in Como, like in the middle of the mountains. His motivation is that he's an old retired gentleman, and he has like 14 investment properties, and this was one of them. And so he just couldn't handle all those properties, and so he needed to sell it. And yeah, he had some tenants in here previously, and they kind of tore up the place. So that got him down, and he did not want to use a realtor as much because they weren't able to sell it. And so yeah, I happened upon him probably about a month ago now. Yeah, and then after that I went up to I had an appointment with him, and we talked about it further, and that brought us to this offer. I'm not sure how much more I should give for that.
So that's a great point. I just like to stage it, and I'm glad we told us your age because, I mean, Lance is basically retired, but he's a rancher and has a large ranch there surrounding this particular property. Yeah. And so large, I mean, definitely could be his grandfather, maybe possibly his great-grandfather, you know? And so it doesn't matter what age you are, the confidence and just making the dials and following the system, which is what Elijah's doing. I'm going to elaborate on this real quick, but you know, Chris has about 5 people calling into him every night, giving updates, things like that. And I have a few doing that as well. And the ones that are doing those, they're pouring the fuel on the fire. This is what's happening because they're giving me a nightly update, and then I give them a quick coaching session. But what I will say is that he was able to speak with this gentleman, and this fine gentleman who was like, yeah, I tried selling it and wasn't able to sell it with a realtor, and I want to get rid of this thing, but I don't know how to do it. And Elijah did a great job by honing in on his motivation, and this is where we got it. So
And then getting you on the call.
And getting me on the call. Exactly. So
yeah.
You want to talk about that? Getting me on the call.
Yeah. So the way that what brought up the fact that I kind of needed Greg's help is, well, obviously I'm a beginner, so I wanted his help with everything. But yeah, after I had gone on the appointment, obviously this property is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, pretty far away from everything. That was one concern for me, was on the buyer side with Cammie. But then with Greg on the seller side, this particular seller wanted a down payment, and he also wanted some interest on the home. And so that's kind of where I brought Greg in terms of needing some help on just saying what we should do for the down payment and just how much exactly the seller wanted, and things like that. So yes, Greg just helped me up with that kind of follow-up call.
Yeah, and it was a great follow-up call because we really dug into what was most important to him, because at first he was like Jose's guy, he wants the cake and eat it too. And but when I got on the call and really honed in more on his motivation, I said, hey, Lance, what's more important to you? Is it price? Is it down payment? Is it getting cash flow, is it terms, and you know, his thing was really the price more than anything, right, Elijah?
Well, I would actually say it was more the down payment because he actually,
Down
yeah,
payment.
yeah. The first time I talked to him, it was actually really cool because the first time I talked to him, he was like, I want 230.